Hey there, guys. This is Flamzeron, aka YouTube's Tasuke. I recently finished the Sanctuary arc of Saint Seiya. Yep, the entire thing with AJ. I got the new DVD set a while ago. I've been meaning to kind of talk about it. I talked about it on my podcast, and we were up to episode 60 because we had watched the ADV dub beforehand, back because I had that, and so we only had like 13 episodes left, and so we finished that one Friday night, and you know. So I'm gonna give a little review or whatever of the entire Sanctuary arc as well as the DVD, and we've already agreed to just go ahead and watch the rest of it. So this will kind of become a recurring thing. But here I'm going to talk about the Sanctuary arc, or at least what I remember of it. I've because I kind of felt there was a bit of a break between episodes 1 to 60 and 61 to 73 because of the new DVD release having taken so long, and also, admittedly, I kind of started to fall asleep during, not because I didn't like it, but because I was really tired on the Friday that we decided. So I actually rewatched the episodes that I dozed off during, which really was just like the Aphrodite fight all the way to the end. So I got to see, like, Shura and whatnot. Plus, I've played Sanctuary Battle and Brave Soldier, so I kind of already knew how the Sanctuary arc, at least the 12 Houses section of it, kind of went. But I guess you could consider this a more updated my thoughts on Saint Seiya. I remember I did that anime marathon thing where I talked about all the anime that I watched, and I talked about Saint Seiya primarily from a Knights of the Zodiac fan perspective, so now I'm a little more informed. But I find that I'll just go ahead and say that for the Sanctuary arc, I generally found that I really enjoyed the episodes where they were kind of traveling and they were kind of trying to figure things out and repair all their cloth. Like, I think my favorite episodes are probably the ones like after Seiya has gotten his cloth destroyed by Shiryu during the Galaxian War, and Shiryu goes to get it repaired, and then Seiya has to go pick it up, and just all that kind of stuff. Just I like those where everything's kind of scattered and the Saints are pretty weak from the fight, and Iki is doing things like basically anything pre 12 houses, I'd say, from what, or at least up to where they start to realize that they need to go back to the sanctuary and fight and talk to the Pope and whatnot. I don't even remember what they were going for originally. But of course, since Saori gets shot with an arrow, they have to go through each of the gold houses and fight the gold saints. But so from a new fan's perspective, there you would see the gold saints as the bad guys. But I feel like they're trying to humanize the gold saints a little bit more. I mean, obviously there are ones like Mu who are just good guys, and Aldebaran and Miro, or Mila, however you want to say his name, who they start off kind of siding with the Pope Arliss, but then they kind of go towards the Saints, like the good guys Seiya's group. And Shura and Aquarius, Ashura and Camus, they end up dying, but I feel like by the end they kind of shift. AJ brought that up, like, they're not really bad. It's just with Camus, he was trying to teach Hyoga to not be a soft little pussy bitch, but though, killing Hyoga's mom was probably a little too much. Like, I remember back when we were watching the dub, because he kills his mom early enough to where they've dubbed it. We were both thinking to ourselves, oh shit, Hyoga's gonna flip something. Hyoga's probably one of my favorite characters. Like, really, my favorite characters are probably Seiya and Hyoga out of the original. Like, if we're talking just OG Saint Seiya, because if we're talking just Saint Seiya as a franchise, Koga's probably my favorite, if not for Seiya or Hyoga or whatever. But So I kind of see what they were going with the Gold Saints, though. There are ones like Aphrodite and Death Mask who are inherently evil, but they'll be back. Like I said, Brave Soldiers and the Hades have kind of spoiled me on my Saint Seiya story, on the story, just because I kind of know a little bit more about what happens. I'm not entirely clear on every little detail, though, and I made a point to do that when playing Brave Soldiers, to kind of shut my brain off so I wouldn't catch every detail to warrant watching the anime or reading the manga. But so if you've played Sanctuary Battle or Brave Soldier, heck, even the Sanctuary, God bless you if you have. But then you kind of already know how everything goes. Like, because the dub finished right as Hyoga was about to fight Scorpio Milo, and so if you fight that, you know that Hyoga continues to go on, or he's trying to, he still keeps trying to, save Athena and whatnot. And Miro's just like, oh, he's not so bad. Here, I'm going to heal you. I'm a good guy now. And then it's, I believe it's Capricorn, Shura, which I remember in Sanctuary Battle, Shiryu just seemed really disgusted, like, ugh, you tried to kill Athena when she was a baby. What the fuck, man? But in the anime, to me, it seemed more like that he was just majorly misinformed and had the potential to be a good guy. And, it was just that his honor was placed in the wrong spot, and his honor was probably a little too strong. And then of course, Shiryu gets his cloth divested, and he uses the Ascending Dragon, that move forbidden from Doko, or the old Roshi, but old master. But then after that, it's Hyoga and Kamyu, to which they duke it out, and Hyoga kind of goes into shuts it in a way. He kind of shuts his brain off too. Of course, he goes unconscious and does like Aurora Execution against Kamyu, in which they both end up freezing themselves. And that's where Kamyu Kamyu and Shura are probably the two of the Gold Saints who die, besides Saga, who kind of realize that they're in the wrong a little bit better than the because there are the Gold Saints like Iole and whatnot, and Aldebaran, who just in Iolea's case he was brainwashed, but Aldebaran, he realizes that they're in the right, Seiya's group at least, and so it's like, I'm gonna join the good guys. Then with Kamyu and Shura and Saga as well, they at least realize they were in the wrong. I'll get more into that later, but then Shun fights Aphrodite, who killed his master. That they kept from that, I feel like, was just generally kept, and so they duke it out. Shun shows off his badassery with his Nebulous Dream and Nebulous Storm, two of my favorite moves from him. He kills Aphrodite, who doesn't really recognize that he's wrong, just that he recognizes that Shun was strong enough to defeat him. And then, Seiya, he went on ahead, but he got really weak and tired and numb from Aphrodite's stares of roses, and Marin comes in, puts her mask on him, and gives him a little bit more strength from that, because he's not inhaling the fumes of the bloody roses anymore. And she passes out. He gets up. He pegs his Ryuseikens, makes the stairs. Shina saves Marin. Seiya goes on, meets Saga, and it's the good Saga, the blue-haired Saga. And he's all like, okay, Seiya, here's what you got to do. I'm a bad person, but I can't save Saori. You need to go go up past my my chamber and then go get the shield and reflect it and shine on them, and it'll remove the arrow. So he goes to do that, but then Evil Saga comes in. They duke it out, beats up Seiya, takes away all 5 of his senses. And then Iki comes in to save the day because Shaka wants to save him, because Shaka also is another one of the Gold Saints who realizes they were wrong. And Mu helps him because he's one of the other Gold Saints. They're telepathic. So they do their, or I guess that's telekinesis, I guess. And that gets situated. So Iki comes in and tries to help fight Saga while Seiya goes up to the chamber. He goes, shines the thing on Athena. Arrow gets removed. And so at that point, the other Saori gets up, takes the other Bronze Saints and Tatsumi, who have been pretty much just sitting with her. They go up, and there they go up to confront Saga, along with Hyoga, Shiryu, and Shun, and Iki, who ends up getting pretty much beaten to death anyway. And then the big final fight starts. Shun, Hyoga, Iki, and Shiryu send Seiya his Cosmo, or their Cosmo. Is this their Cosmoses? Their Cosmos. I don't fucking know. And then that's where Seiya gets like all the Cosmo he needs. Does basically the Sui Seiken, like he does the Ryu Seiken, but it goes into like one like just energy thing, and it causes a quote unquote big bang. That's where he beats up Saga. Seiya passes out. Saga comes back down, and then Saori's like, I'm gonna fight you now. And Saga the evil Saga tries to fight her, but the cloth gets destroyed for 2 reasons. One, Seiya's punch really broke it, and 2, they're trying to protect him from things, because I'm actually, I don't even remember for some reason, and I literally just came back from watching it. Like, I made a point to watch it because I didn't want to be unclear on details, and then Saga starts to kind of realize that this is where sort of like his good starts to kind of become like overly dominant. Like, even while he's in like his white-haired, red-eye evil form, he starts to kind of become generally good, and so he basically stabs himself with Saori's staff in form of atonement, and so he dies. And then at that point, all is good, and then you get a little preview for the Asgard arc, which I'm looking forward to, which makes me hope that Cinedigm or somebody's going to pick up the set, but that's generally how the Sanctuary arc ends. Overall, I liked it. I mean, if you watched Omega first, this will probably seem like a rehash, or heck, if you watch this first, Omega probably seems like a rehash, but though since I started this arc before getting to that point in Omega felt more like a rehash to me. This is the original. I like how they sort of break formula a little bit with how the fights go. Because I feel like Saint Seiya has like this formula of fighting where like good guy gets beaten up, gets a lot of power, and then like kills the enemy in like one hit. And this, they kind of changed it up a little bit. I feel like they keep the formula in that the cloths keep getting destroyed, and it's just like, I know part of Saint Seiya is going against the odds, like that's part of the theme, but I mean, they've done that to death, so. But yeah, I really liked it. I'd say probably my favorite parts were the parts where like each individual saint was like trying to get from point A to point B, and they had to fight like even though it was probably filler, or there's a chance that a fair amount of it was filler, I kind of liked it, and I felt really bad for Shiryu because it just seemed like, he lost a lot of blood, he lost his eyesight, and it's like, you shouldn't be fighting. Like, I felt like it had it had that shonen thing that Dragon Ball and Yu Yu Hakusho also had, where it's like you kind of have like a sense of, a character's like ability and power. And I remember saying in my Yu Yu Hakusho video that like I didn't like how in the Dark Tournament how Hiei and Kurama seemed like the two like like the Plan B people, like the people who like, okay, I can't beat this guy here, Hiei, you fight him. They were like just the super powerful people. And of course by the end of it, everyone's really strong. But it's kind of like this here, except I feel like, I know with Shiryu in particular, I felt like, it's like, why are you fighting? You will probably die if you keep fighting. And I guess that's what they were intending. It makes sense. So overall, it was a decent arc. And it'll be nice to see the new cloths, because I think they look pretty cool. I think they look cooler. I mean, as far as the cloths go, I think the anime has the best designs of the cloths. I know there are going to be some manga purists who are like, no, Kurumada design all the way. Well, I say Araki design all the way. But yeah, that's that for the Sanctuary arc. Now on to the DVD, which, I've been kind of waiting to do a review on this one. I feel like it's probably best in this because I don't even know how long this one will be. But just some general info about it. As you can see, it's kind of like the Dragon Box, where it's got like the overall box, but then it's got just 2 individual DVD cases, volumes 1 and volume 2, which that's pretty useful if like you're trying to pick up from where you left off. Obviously, if you're trying to pick up from the ADV dub, you're going to want to stick with volume 2. The set overall is pretty simple. I mean, it has all the episodes. There aren't any extras, and it's decent quality. The audio quality, I think, is fine. I mean, for an old Toei show, it's fine. I feel like Saint Seiya had probably better treatment than Dragon Ball, for example. That's just me. But the main issue, which I know a lot of people who've reviewed the set have already mentioned, is really the subtitles is probably the biggest thing. 1, they don't really look that nice. And 2, they're like mostly a second delayed. Like a character will start talking, usually saying a full phrase, and then the subtitles will come up. And there's also some proofreading issues and changes in translation. Like for apparently they went from Iolia to Ioria, and they stuck with Ioria. And they did the meteor, like literally the meteor of Pegasus, like they were doing the ADV dub, but then they went with Pegasus. I think Pegasus Meteor Fist at one point, and then they kind of stuck with Pegasus Meteor. So it's like there wasn't really much quality control, and there are several typos. And I saw this one screenshot because I only watched episodes 61 to 73. I didn't really. That was my main focus in getting this set, was getting the rest of the series. And I only got this just because I felt like it would have been better to wait for just a volume and then get the entire thing, because then it would all be consistent. But other issues, there's the visual quality's fine. It's slightly above the ADV, I think, but it's also slightly down because there's a lot of what looks like distortion in the video, a lot of weird grain. And I feel like the grain works against the distortion, so it makes it look slightly worse than it really is. And there were some episodes where I felt like the saturation was turned up a little bit high, like they were thinking about trying to remaster it, but decided just to go for a straight up release. So overall, the set, it's okay. The subtitle issue won't bother you that much once you get through a few episodes, especially if you plan on watching from like episode 1 all the way to the end, because then at that point it won't really bother you. Like it took me like maybe like 2 or 3 episodes to get used to it. At first it kind of bugged me, but I think watching it on a TV helps for me personally. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is really that kind of person, but I would say get this set if you don't have anything of Saint Seiya on DVD and you live in North America, because obviously if you live in like France or Spain, you have the entire series at your fingertips. But if you have the ADV sets, I think it would be okay to skip out on it. One thing I should probably note is that the episodes are available on Amazon Instant Video, and it's done by Cinedigm again, but also the subtitles are actually fixed. They look nicer and they're properly timed, which is a major plus if you ask me. I downloaded just randomly episode 4 of the fight with the Seiya and Shiryu because that's one of my favorite episodes, and it was good quality. And you can watch it on your PS3 if you want. So if you watch the entire thing on your TV from the DVD, then you can carry that over. If you have like, I think it's also on Wii U and Xbox, and probably Xbox One and PS4. So you definitely have plenty of options as far as watching Cinedigm's set. Or you could just watch it on your computer from their streaming site, or you could just download it to your computer. That's what I did. So Cinedigm has most definitely tried to fix this set. My only concern is like if they're gonna try and fix it with the DVD set, maybe recall and then like bring it out. I feel like it's too late for that. So I feel like the other thing they'd probably do is just release the volumes, and those would be the corrected ones. Which, you know, I've contacted them, letting them know that like, hey, it's cool that you guys fix fix this series on Amazon, but what about the people who have the DVD and don't want to watch it digitally? Because there's some of us who want to actually collect it, and of course I'm one of those people. But I haven't heard anything from them, and so I'm wondering what exactly is going on. If maybe they don't have the rights anymore. Or, I mean, this set took a while to come out, so I don't think it was rushed. I feel like it was just more of like they just made a mistake. I don't think it was a rush. I think it was just an issue with timing the subs, because you know it also gets to a point where like the subs are fixed. So I don't know if it was definitely probably a sped up job, but I feel like it was more of a mistake rather than an issue of being rushed. So I'd say really probably the best thing to go is probably getting the movies, because most people probably haven't seen the Saint Seiya movies. I mean, one might argue that they have simply because they're movies, but since the quality of them is really good, and two, they're really cheap, you know, in good quality subs, and you know they are the yellow subs, but you know, I'd recommend probably getting those if you just want to get something different. You don't really want to get the show, or if you're waiting for a dub. Granted, the movies don't have a dub either, but you might have to kind of just bite the bullet and get them anyway. One thing I've recently learned is that the entire Hades OVAs have been uploaded onto are available on Crunchyroll, but only in Latin America and Spain. And I think they're also the Spanish dub, so hopefully in the future we'll get those. I mean, there was that poll, and I guess the getting the Hades OVA on there was the result of the poll. I don't know why only Spanish territories get it. I know Saint Seiya is big in Spanish territories as well as French territories, but the point I'm trying to make is that the poll was a global, international poll for a streaming website that's generally international. There's very few region restrictions. I know Riddle of the Devil is only available in the UK, even though Funimation licensed it, but so that's something, and I think we're getting to a point where Saint Seiya will probably get more. Who knows, maybe at Anime Expo they'll announce something, which that isn't too far away, so we'll get to see more stuff soon. One thing I want to note, though, is with the new CGI movie being actually out in theaters now, and Anime Expo coming up, I predict, along with the fact that Sailor Moon is getting a redub, Card Captor Sakura is apparently getting a new dub from This America with Sailor Moon being from Viz, as well as them doing a Sailor Moon Crystal. So, and they're also putting all the episodes on Hulu and Neon Val of the original show subtitled, and then I'm gonna put the new series on DVD and Blu-ray, dubbed, and the original as well as Cardcaptor Sakura with Miss America, and also apparently Crunchyroll is gonna host the first 3 episodes of the new dub of the new JoJo anime of Stardust Crusaders. So that's going to, not to mention the first manga is actually coming out in English. Like, this seems to be the year of like old anime coming back, and Battle of Gods getting dubbed. I mean, like, so I speculate that Saint Seiya is definitely on the waiting list for something. I don't know if it's going to get a new dub or just a better DVD release with proper subtitles from a different company with higher quality masters or what. I mean, the series is coming out on Blu-ray in Japan. I think the first set's already out. It's going to be 2 sets. So that'll work for that'll serve as a good master. I speculate that my prediction is something Saint Seiya related will come from Anime Expo. Maybe even Japan Expo, because Bandai Namco said that they had surprises, which obviously generally means J-Stars, and I mean, it could mean the only Saint Seiya Omega Ultimate Cosmo, but my point is, I think that at Anime Expo, something Saint Seiya related will be announced, whether it be a dub of the movie, a reprint of the manga, a retranslation of the manga, a Viz or whoever getting Next Dimension or some other Saint Seiya spinoff. I feel like Next Dimension would probably be the best thing, though. A dub of Lost Canvas or Omega or the original series or something. I feel like something's going to come from Anime Expo, or at least I hope. So, yeah, that's my review of this DVD set and of the Sanctuary arc in general. Sorry, this one was kind of long. I mean, these videos tend to take long. I probably should brand these as like podcast-like videos because they are very, very talky and chatty. But yeah, go forth, young saints, and get this DVD. Or, like I said, if you don't have the ADV sets or the Knights of the Zodiac, or if you don't have Saint Seiya, this is probably the best set to go with. Because, like I said, even though the subtitles are mistimed, it's not terrible. I know a lot of people are saying that it's just absolutely terrible, but it's not. It's not that big a deal. So, yeah. This is Flamzeron, a.k.a. YouTube's Tasuke, signing out. See you guys later.